Hi, this is Jim Peters with Peters Principals, and you never know who you're going to see on Peters Principals. And today, for the third time, we're lucky enough to have Mr. James Milinazzo of the Lowell City Council. And I have to tell you, I'm impressed with the Lowell City Council because it's a 9-0 city council.
We're getting along like we did last year. The last council, you know, we do have Jim Leary as a new member because Bill Martin, as you recall, decided not to run for re-election. And I served with Jim Leary when I was the mayor and he was on the school committee. Mm-hmm. So I knew that he was going to be a great addition to the city council. And as you said, and he has been. Yeah, we really work well together as a group, and we as a group support the administration from a state representative. Current city manager Kevin Murphy is doing a very good job. Right. You know, and we went through the budget, $340 million budget Tuesday night in about an hour and a half.
That's got to be a record.
It's a record. We've done it over days. I mean, you recall, right. So, we've done it over days, but we were able to do it over about an hour and a half session. So yeah.
I remember when my father was superintendent, it would take him weeks.
Yeah. Yeah,
just weeks.
I remember when your dad was superintendent too. He was a great man. Did a lot for the school system.
You and I had a good time at that.
That's right, exactly.
Just for the audience, Jim and I met when we were both 16.
That's correct.
And he was.
Wasn't I your first friend?
He was my first friend in Lowell.
That's right.
And he helped me build a boat.
That's right.
So,
and who would believe, all these years later, we'd be sitting here doing a Peter Principal show.
Yeah,
Peter's Principal show.
That is unbelievable.
That's right. It really is.
So, no, what I wanted to talk to you about specifically is the growth in Lowell. 2 days ago, I was riding home with my son from Maine, and he started cursing in Lawrence because the Lowell traffic was backing him up.
Right, that's right.
And I was like,
traffic is an issue, right?
I said, don't you realize that this is a good thing?
That's right.
I mean, yes, the traffic is bad, but there was a time when Lowell didn't have any traffic.
Correct. Right. It's time you can just go right through 495 and not even look at Lowell.
Right. Not even look for the signs because they weren't there.
That's right. Exactly. No, a lot has happened in the city over the last couple of decades, and as you know, this administration has economic development as one of their key points: public safety, public education, and economic development. And they've done a very good job bringing businesses into Lowell, businesses that used to be in Lowell years ago. You're going to remember that Cronus actually started on Jackson Street here in Lowell, right. Years and years ago. Then they moved to Chelmsford and built a campus. They had 500,000 square feet. And just recently, as you know, and I know it's something you want to touch upon, Cronus has decided to move back to Lowell. And they're taking a building over at Cross Point, which is very exciting.
Oh, they're taking a full building?
Yeah, over Cross Point. Yeah. It's amazing, absolutely amazing. And all those jobs will stay in Lowell. And obviously, Cross Point, and as you know, Cross Point used to be Wang Corporate Towers, a corporate center. And back in, I want to say it was probably the mid-'80s when Wang went through their downturn, and the Lowell Development Financial Corporation, which I know you're familiar with, a group of consortium of banks, actually had a second mortgage on the Wang Towers, and it was going into foreclosure. And to Dr. Wang's credit, because we would have gotten wiped out as the LDFC, he said, I will in exchange for you releasing your second mortgage, we'll give you stock in Wang Corporation. And they did. And we released the second mortgage. That property ended up selling at auction for $500,000.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, not the parking, and just the building, but still, that was talk about in my opinion, a good buy for the people that bought it. But we were able to take that stock, and working with some folks that were on the LDFC board, they were able to sell it, buy more, sell it, and then eventually we got our principal back of $2.5 million. So we could have gotten wiped out, which would have basically eliminated the Lowell Development and Financial Corporation, but we were able to get that money and put it back into the community.
Now, what was your role in Lowell Development?
I was executive director. I was executive director there from 1984 until 1990.
Okay. And
now Jimmy Cook, I say now, but Jimmy Cook took my place in 1990, and he's been there now 26 years.
Right.
And has done a very good job starting new programs. In fact, there's a new program that they're working with a lot of the lenders in the area now. It's called a loan innovation program or an incubation program. So they're working with UMass Lowell. And as UMass Lowell grows these new companies through their research and technology, they'll be able to go to the LDFC and get seed money to help finance the startup. It'll be a startup company. So that's a brand new program that the LDFC is about to launch.
So what's going to be a startup company?
Companies that grow out of the university, like the M2D2 over by Jackson
Right,
Street.
exactly.
Right, as they grow new companies, they'll be able, these companies, like say Jim Peters went over there, did some research, came upon a new product.
Right.
You can go to this innovation fund now and get financing for the new product. And they're going to be very progressive, if you will, payback, so that during the first year, maybe even 2 years, you won't have to pay anything back until you get some legs under the new company in order to market and sell your products. So that's a very exciting plan that's coming out of the LDFC.
Now, I'm just curious because I toured Kronos's old factory spot.
Yeah.
And it was filled with Kronos boxes, but that's all.
Right. So on Jackson Street, yeah.
Yeah, the one on Jackson
Yeah,
Street.
yeah.
What do they make?
They make, I want to say, sophisticated integrated time clocks. So that it's all computerized. You can probably run it off. In fact, I know you can run it off your iPhone.
Okay.
And they do like I said, time clocks. They used to do the old punch cards, but they've gotten, obviously through their research, they've been able to do it's basically time management, and they've been very successful. They have thousands of people, not only in the Merrimack Valley, but worldwide. And it's very exciting that the same person that started Kronos back 30 years ago is still at the helm, is still president of the company.
No, who is that?
I'm not remembering his name. We could always Google it. But he's very excited to be back in Lowell. I mean, obviously they didn't go far by being in Chelmsford, but at the same time, having them back in Lowell, having them in that space at Cross Point,
that's just incredible.
It's a home run.
They're taking
Correct.
the whole building.
Correct. And then you have companies like the Markley Group that came up, and they took over what you and I would remember as the Prince Macaroni building over off of Gorham Street,
That's right.
and it was owned by Joan Fabrics for a period of time after that. And then when Joan ended up closing, they ended up buying it. Actually, they actually bought it through a lender, but the Markley Group now is putting their company, and they do a lot of data storage, and they're taking the whole building and they're investing a couple of, I want to say, tens of millions of dollars, really, because it's such a big building, and they're going to employ a couple of hundred people at that site. So again, that's a very good use for that building, because I wasn't sure who was going to be able to go into that building the way it was built. You recall it was built like a bomb shelter.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's going to be used for data storage.
I went into it as a principal
Oh, sure.
of a Catholic school,
Okay.
and we were having a spaghetti night.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And they donated all of the stuff for the spaghetti night. So that's what I remember about
that's
it.
nice.
And
Yeah.
I got a tour of the building as a result.
Yeah.
Which was fun.
Yeah,
It
it's a
was
great
interesting.
location. Before I left the credit union, we financed the two buildings that are now on Gorham Street, the Dollar Tree store and the O'Reilly Auto Parts store. And we have a new roadway going back into that former Prince building, the new Markley Group building.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, there's a better access, if you will, into the back building. Plus they have acres and acres and acres of land they can eventually do something with back there as well. So I think you're going to see more development there. So again, as I mentioned, as part of the administration's 3 points, economic development, and is to bring jobs. And we are bringing manufacturing jobs to Lowell, and we're also saving manufacturing jobs. As you mentioned, we were walking up here, that you wanted to also touch upon Maycom. Maycom has been in Lowell for a long time. They have a very nice facility over on Chelmsford Street. And back a month or so ago, the city council voted a tax increment financing plan. They're going to build a brand new 50,000 square foot building next to their existing site. And the tax increment, the TIF, if you will, the agreement, is for that one building. So they'll get a tax break for about 20 years, but at the same time, they'll be paying the same taxes they were always paying on their existing building, plus bringing new jobs to the community. So it really was a win-win for the community. And Maycom, when they did their presentation to the city council, talked about how, I don't want to use the word easy, but I guess I should. Easy it was to work with the city administration, work with the Planning and Development Office to keep jobs here in Lowell and to put together the right financing package, which was so key.
I'll tell you, I have to tell you, I when you first ran, I thought, what is he doing?
That's a long time ago
And
now.
now you've been in there for a long time.
Yeah,
And,
12 years, almost 12 years.
yeah, and it's been fun to watch you because
Thank you.
because you've been extremely good.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
So,
I appreciate that.
But when I first saw Milinazzo on the bumper sticker,
Yeah. Who
what-
is that?
what is he doing?
That's right.
who is that person?
Well, when you have a big family, as you know. But I remember I lost the first time. When I ran in 2001, I came in 10th. I came in
Oh,
10th.
you did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, it was fun. I've got a lot of, in fact, I actually still have the same committee, except for my father, as you know, who passed away last year, and Eddie Trudell. Do you remember Eddie Trudell? He
remember
passed
Eddie
away
Trudell,
about
yeah.
3 years ago. Other than my father and Eddie Trudell, I have the same group of supporters and committee people that have helped me all these years. So it's been fun. It's been fun.
Well, I like to think of myself as a supporter, but I don't think
Well,
I don't think you ever asked me to go out on a
you
visibility
you did
tour.
you did yard signs for me.
I did
Oh,
yard
yeah,
signs for
yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah,
I know-
yeah,
I knew I
yeah.
did
Over
something for
Chauncey.
you.
I shouldn't give your address, but over on Chauncey.
Over on
Yeah,
Chauncey.
yeah.
I did yard signs for you. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you
did.
did. Yeah, you did.
So now GE,
Oh, the big Boston announcement. Yes.
the big Boston
Yeah,
announcement.
yeah.
Now, that's got to affect us, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. The ripple effect of having GE in Boston is going to affect us. I was watching Chronicle last night, and they were talking about all of the companies that, like New Balance and other big companies that actually stay in Boston, has a positive impact on the Merrimack Valley. The Middlesex Coalition that we work with, the City of Lowell works with Burlington and Bedford and Lexington and all those companies down Route 3. They're getting the benefit of companies like GE coming to the area because other companies that want to support GE, be it, making widgets for GE, they'll come to the area in order to be close to a giant company like General Electric. So,
Right.
Again, kudos to Governor Baker and to Mayor Walsh and everybody that was involved in that. That was quite a thing for them to come from Connecticut and come to, and again, GE, as I understood it from watching Chronicle last night, actually was it's a company that's over 150 years old, but they were two companies that were in Massachusetts that had merged and created General Electric. So for them now to come back to Massachusetts, come back to Boston, is pretty neat. It's pretty
Well, I
neat.
know that you went to Merrimack,
Right,
and I went to UMass Lowell,
right,
and at the time it was Old State College,
correct.
and they had a big water tower
Yes,
in the parking lot, and they had a huge reinforced bomb-free
oh yeah, yep.
factory.
Okay,
Okay,
Okay.
and when they were taking it apart, they had to grind the
Yep,
sand,
yep,
grind the
yep.
concrete down to sand,
yep,
and blow the sand into
Yep.
dump trucks,
Incredible.
and then use those dump
Yeah,
trucks and
yeah,
and
yeah. And
bring
that
the sand-
technology, right,
bring the
right.
sand out to wherever they put the
Right.
sand. So,
Probably somewhere in Westford.
yeah, there's a lot of
Oh,
sand.
yeah,
in Westford.
in the quarry,
Yeah.
right, right.
So it just is. I just think of GE as being a positive part of what naturally was
That's
here.
right, exactly right,
And,
exactly right.
I don't really see them as being new to the area or anything like that.
Right.
I see them as being a positive part of what's
Right.
generally here.
But I think just over the next decade, the influence that they're going to have on the region is going to be incredible, very positive, and they're going to bring jobs and, like I said, new companies to the area.
And 495 is going to get
Correct.
worse.
And Boston is one of the yeah, well, I know, but Boston is one of the hottest real estate markets right now. It's absolutely incredible from a standpoint of commercial development, and there's a lot of seed money out there. There's a lot of capital out there, and you've got quasi-public corporations like Mass Development that you're familiar with, and being able to do industrial revenue bond financing, and just getting all of the key ingredients together in order to bring additional companies and to keep the companies like Kronos and Maycom in our city is very positive. It's very positive.
The introduction of no, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Maycom GE.
Kronos. We talked about Kronos,
We're
Maycom.
talking across-
But again, it really comes down to the administration.
We talk, which now just for who is in Prince Beginnerville?
Markley Group. The Markley Group. They do data storage.
Okay.
Yeah, they do. It's out there kind of in cyberspace. They store it however they do it. I mean, it's way beyond my IQ, and but they do it, and they're doing it now in this massive massive building, and they're bringing new jobs, to the area, and they're very committed to Lowell. When they came before the city council, because we did a tax increment financing
Right.
loan for them as well, or deal for them, and they're very very positive.
Those
on-
tax increment financing loans are good on,
Correct.
more than on paper, right?
That's correct. I mean, they continue to pay their base tax right now, but as they
Right.
grow and expand, they only pay a percentage of that,
Right.
and it actually goes up over the years, so that by the time they reach either the 15th or 20th year, they're paying the full boat on the real estate taxes. But
Okay, that's what happened to Wang.
right, correct, exactly right.
We,
That's right.
we went up to $1 million
Correct,
in
Correct,
taxes, right?
correct, right,
Okay.
right.
I was pleased to hear that you were in Revere as the head of the housing authority.
Yes, been there since February. Thank you. Yeah, yeah. Glad to be back in the business. I was in the business, as you know, for almost 10 years here in Lowell, and then due to a bunch of circumstances, I ended up getting back into banking, and I was back since 2002. I've been a commercial lender for a couple of banks here in Lowell, and then this opportunity opened up in Revere, and I applied, and I was successful, and I'm thrilled to be there.
It's good for you.
Yeah,
It's,
thank you.
I mean, you were good at it in
Yeah,
Lowell,
yeah,
I think.
Yeah,
and,
thank you.
And I think it's good for you.
yeah.
I
I enjoy it. I've got a good group of people, and I enjoy, meeting with the residents. Yesterday, I got a phone call at 4:15, and one of our residents, our office is within one of our developments, and she asked me to stop by. So I stopped by. I thought she had a problem. She wanted to give me some flowers to bring home and plant in the garden. I mean, it's just, I've only been there for 3 months, and she said, "Please stop by. I want to, and
So
they're just nice.
did you
then-
plant them in the garden?
I did.
That's
Yeah,
good.
I actually gave them to my wife to plant in the garden.
Well,
So
yeah, right.
I should. But anyway.
I take care of the planting in
Yeah.
in my family, but I
Right.
think that's because I'm from Iowa.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Right.
That's right.
So,
That's right.
being Iowan, you naturally have
Correct. Right.
an inside on the
Right.
planting division.
Correct. But Revere's about half the size of the housing authority. It's half the size of Lowell, and that Lowell is 95% federally subsidized and only about 5% state subsidized. We're 80% state subsidized and 20% federal in Revere. So we work very closely with DHCD and that whole group, and with the state delegation, we have Speaker DeLeo as our state rep
Oh, that's
down there.
not
In fact,
bad.
I've got a meeting with him the week after next. And we have a brand new senator who just elected, Senator Joseph Boncory. He just became a state senator. And we have another representative, Rosalie Vincent. So again,
Democrats or Republicans?
they're Democrats. Right?
Democrats.
Correct. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
that's a good thing as far as I'm concerned, but that's just
Correct. Right.
Right.
And they've been very good. I mean, we send letters on various, bills going through the legislature and so forth. We're trying to get a veteran's preference, so that if you're a veteran or returning veteran, that you get the number one preference. So for housing. Right now, it's
Right.
like 2 or 3. We're going to try to get it up to, again, we'll see where that goes, but we're pushing that now. My board is very, as we all are, and very interested in helping the veterans. And a number of nonprofit development corporations are actually building veterans housing, which is just so important. And there's a need for it.
Well, there is a need for it, and
Right.
I think that we owe the veterans a great deal,
Correct.
and certainly it hasn't been easy in the last 12 years or so,
Correct.
being a veteran in the United States, because you're in danger.
Right. Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
so,
That's right.
it can be a problem.
That's right.
So I wanted to ask you about the national park system.
Mm-hmm. The 100th anniversary.
100th
Yeah.
anniversary of National Park System, yeah.
It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it just I was just curious as to what your thoughts were on. Well, to be perfectly honest with you, what happens if Trump wins the presidency?
Oh goodness, I
to
don't.
the
I don't.
national park system.
I don't know. That's a very good question. I hadn't thought about it actually, but that's a very good question. Well, I don't know if he's going to. I hope. Again, I'm a staunch Democrat, so
I am too.
yeah. So I'm hoping he doesn't win the presidency. But at the end of the day, if he does, I think you're going to see it's going to be quite a sea change when when
Right.
you think about it. But at the end of the day, I'm hoping that the national park system, which has been terrific for the entire country, will survive a Trump presidency. But again, you don't know. You don't know. the National Park here in Lowell, as you know, has been around since 1978. You know, when you and I were just getting started, and it's been very.
Calling you
Oh yeah.
and saying
Yeah.
how many people actually
Correct.
visit the park,
Exactly
and you're
right.
saying, oh,
Yeah.
about 500,000.
Right. Right.
And that was incredible.
It's an incredible number, and out of that grew the folk festival, as you know, and we had the Heritage State Park here in Lowell for a while, and the Convention and Visitors Bureau bringing people into the city. Again, it's just a very good partnership. Cool. We have the Cultural Organization of Lowell that does a lot. Again, bringing people, as you know, the Western Avenue Studios and all of the other art studios in the community, which really, in my opinion, located here because of the national park. You had that base of cultural development, if you will, or just being proud of our history, and we were able to build on that. So I think the artists have had a tremendous impact on the city economically. I mean, they really have.
I'd like to see, to be perfectly honest with you, and I've talked to Steve Stoll about this.
Yeah.
I'd like to see the Hood, not the Hood, the Father John.
Oh yes, Medicine right down here. Yeah. Yeah.
Back in place.
Okay.
I'd like to see the Jordan Marsh sign, not
Oh,
Jordan
yeah.
Marsh, Bon Marsh.
Bon Marché.
trade
Yeah.
sign.
Yeah.
Back,
Cherry
back
and
in
Webb.
place.
You
Cherry and
remember
Webb.
all those stores down
All
to
those
Pollard's?
stores.
Oh yeah.
And I talked to Steve Stoll, and he said, well, the problem is we don't know how they painted
Right.
back 100 years ago
Right.
because their colors were darker.
Right.
So I went and I looked it up.
Did you really? Yeah.
I did. And
Yeah.
I found out that it was 10%
Okay.
dye
Yeah.
and 90% turpentine.
Now, when you're coming up Merrimack Street, heading towards City Hall, you can still see the Bon Marché on the side of the
Right.
building.
I,
So you
I,
can see, yeah.
I took a picture
Oh,
of
did
it
you?
and
Yeah.
I posted it in
Yeah.
my house.
Okay.
Because I worked at Jordan Marsh when it was
Oh,
here.
really? Okay. I worked at Cherry and Webb.
Oh, did you? Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, I did when I was at
worked at
Merrimack
Jordan Marsh.
College.
Mm.
I had the best job in the city of Lowell. I was the elevator operator.
That's
You
good.
can go there with a lot of elevator jokes. I heard them all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably is true.
Yeah.
But, they it just would be nice to see the
That's right.
the
Some of
painted
their
signs
stores,
back
correct. That's right.
restored.
That's right.
And Steve's chief angle on his story was that you don't know what the dye was,
Right.
but I found out.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's 10%
So you're going to call
to
Steve now?
90%.
Yeah. Okay.
I called Steve.
Yeah.
I went over to his office and I
Yeah.
said, Steve, it was 10% to 90%. He said, how can you prove that?
Yeah.
I said, okay, well, I'll be back.
Right.
So I came back after proving it. And,
Right. Right.
he said, oh, well, that's remarkable,
Yeah.
but so far we haven't had anything painted.
The historic boards had their work cut out for them over the last couple of decades, working with all the development that's gone on in the city. You know, it's been
Even if it's a
remarkable.
little off color, I think
Yeah.
I think it would be better to have those
Yeah,
old signs restored.
Yeah.
There's
I don't think they'd be off color. I mean, it's part of the history. I mean,
Right.
Lowell was a bustling downtown. We had five theaters in downtown.
5 theaters.
Yeah, yeah.
If you look at an
Oh,
old
yeah.
picture of downtown,
Yeah,
you'll
yeah,
see 5
Yeah.
theaters.
You know, the old Royal Theater is still actually on Merrimack Street. It's now a Southeast Asian market. And if you go in the building and go in the back of the building, the old Royal Theater is still there.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I haven't been in a while, but a developer friend of mine walked through the building and said it's amazing that it's still there. It's like walking and stepping back into history. Because you had the Key Theater, you had the Key
If
Theater.
you
you
get
had
a
the
chance to
Strand.
go in it, would you?
Yeah,
call
I
me?
will. Yeah. The old Royal.
Just tremendously enjoyed the Strand Theater
Mhm.
because
Yes.
that
Oh,
was
yeah.
the only one that was
Oh,
operating
that's
when
right.
you and I were.
Yeah, that's right. We used to have to wait in
16.
line on Central
Right.
Street to
Right.
get into pay 25 cents to get into the theater. We were at,
Yeah, well, 25 cents.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we're dating ourselves now, but yeah, I think it was 25 cents.
Yeah, we are dating ourselves. But you know what I remember is I remember the old bridge on, I want to say Lawrence Street, but I don't think it was on Lawrence Street. It was on going by Shed Park.
Oh yes, yeah.
The old wooden railroad bridge.
Yep. That was on Lawrence Street by the cemetery.
Oh, it was on
I think
Lawrence
so.
Street?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. It was on Boylston Street.
Boylston Street.
Well, that's the Frank Grady Bridge now. They rebuilt it and they named it after Frank Grady. Remember Frank Grady was a city engineer? Nice man. He's still around. I see Frank at church every now and
Oh, you
then.
do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought he passed on.
No. And
Okay, my fault.
no, that's right. But that bridge was scary.
It
Yeah,
was
it was scary.
but it was fun.
Yeah, if you get your car going fast enough, you could actually go right
Make
over
the
it.
jump,
Yeah,
right.
you make the jump. That's right. But yeah, that's on Boylston Street. I remember it now.
Yeah, I remember when they rebuilt it,
Yep.
and I thought, I went to a Belvedere, what do they call it, Belvedere Civic Club?
Oh, yes, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Civil-
yeah, yes,
Anyway,
yeah.
I went to their
The Bunting Club.
the Bunting Club.
Yeah.
I went to their
Yeah,
meeting,
yeah,
and one of the people says, "Well, we're going to have the wooden bridge replaced."
yeah.
And I said, "Well, that's something that you can look back on and
That's
talk
right.
about
That's
in
right.
your history books."
That's exactly right. Not
And,
many people don't remember that now.
Not
You
many
know?
people do
Yeah,
remember
no,
that.
no.
I remember
That's
you
right.
and I
That's
and
right.
Bordy's
The
Wicker
Bordy's Wicker.
on the bicycles.
Yeah, I saw Bordy. Where did I see Bordy? He came to my father's wake and funeral, and then I did see him at a dear friend of ours passed away a couple of months ago. Do you remember Frank Hurley? Dave Elias, Frank Hurley. We were all, that whole group was you,
Yeah,
me,
Dave
Bordy. Yeah, Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Frank passed away.
I didn't know.
Yeah, he did, and very sad. And so Bordy was there, and we get to reminisce like you and I are doing right now. You know, Bordy today is the little police officer, very
Right.
good little police officer. His dad was a police officer, if
Right.
you remember.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I do remember that.
yeah. So, yeah,
I
but
remember working in Lefties and
oh, lefties. Yeah,
the police officers coming in every day to
yeah,
have dinner.
yeah.
And of course, they always paid for it, which
Yeah,
was fine. But,
right.
it was fantastic.
Yeah.
We used to go out of the way to try to make
Right,
the
correct.
best dinner we could.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah.
it was.
But lefties was fun.
Lefties
was fun.
was fun. I
Do you remember the family that owned it?
Yes, the Kikinis lived across the
Correct.
street from us.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, the
And we
Kikinis
hung
lived
around
across
with
the street.
Peter Kokinis. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and we hung around with. Well, there was a whole family.
Oh yeah, that's right. They were. That's right.
They lived up the street, they
Correct.
lived down the
The
street, they lived across the
correct.
street.
Yep, yep, yep.
So, I knew them all, and I
Right.
still use Dr. Kikinis for my dentist.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
So he's doing fine.
Yeah, nice family. Nice family.
Very nice family.
Yeah. But we've seen a lot of changes in the last 3 decades. We really have. When you think about the city and how far it's come, and with the city manager, as I mentioned, Kevin Murphy. You and I had Kevin's father, I think, for Latin
Right.
at Lowell High School.
Right.
You know, so I mean, they've been around for a very long time. And again, we're in the middle of doing his evaluation, so I don't want to say too much. But I think he really is doing a very good job as a city manager. He really pays attention to details. I understand the team that he's put in place, especially in the economic development side, is very easy to work with. So that's always very positive, because we compete with other communities. I mean, these companies look to other communities as well.
Exactly.
So we need to do a good job in trying to attract them, to the area. So
Well, I
important.
was heart-rendered when we were losing them to Chelmsford
correct.
over
Yes.
time, all the time.
Correct. Right. Right.
That was very difficult.
Right. Right.
And I just believe that I can't believe the 9-0 vote.
No. Yeah,
I mean, I'm so used to 5-4 votes.
I know. I know.
And
There's no.
Bernie Lynch had 5-4 votes
all the time. Yeah, I shouldn't say there's no tension or stress or differences, but we leave them in the chambers. You know, it's not something that there's no animosity, and like I said, we all get along. I think we do anyway. We all get along fine, and the city is making progress. I mean, if the city wasn't making progress, we might have a different story to tell this afternoon.
Well,
But,
I saw a presentation yesterday of the new alley.
oh yes, yeah, Decatur Way.
Decatur
Yeah,
Way.
yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, David Willett working with UMass Lowell. I mean, they've done a very nice job over there. I couldn't go to that because it was in the afternoon,
Right.
2:00. But yeah, they did a wonderful job over
Well, Corey
there.
Belanger did a great job being
Yeah.
mayor.
Yeah.
I don't know. Don't want to say that they should be the mayor.
Yeah. No, I know Corey's a very good city councilor, and Mayor Kennedy had another event that he was at, so he wasn't able to be at that event. But I heard Corey did a very good job.
Corey did a very good job.
Yeah.
He was fantastic.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of his first speeches
Right.
because he was a little tense in his
Correct.
first
Right.
speeches.
Right. Corey loves being, not that we don't all like, but Corey really loves being a city council, and I'm happy because he does love being a city council. I'm happy for Corey.
Yeah, that's good to know.
He enjoys it. He enjoys it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we have to close because we're running out of time.
Well,
Thank you for being on the show.
I appreciate the invitation. Anytime, I'd love to come back.
Okay.
It's been fun.
Okay.
Great. Thank you, Jim.
I-